So we're in Barcelona for Mobile World Congress 2019. We're here at the Ribbon stand. I'm here with Kevin Riley. Kevin, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Ray.
So, a lot of people over the years very familiar with the names Gem Band and Sonos, but now these two companies have come together and formed Ribbon. Can you tell us a bit more about Ribbon and what it means for enterprises and telcos?
Yeah, sure. So Ribbon's a communication application and infrastructure provider. We serve communication service providers, enterprises, over-the-top providers with voice and unified communication solutions, ranging from purpose-built hardware to software to virtualized appliances, all the way to cloud-optimized solutions.
Okay.
We merged up about 15 months ago. We've fully completed our integration, have the portfolio all put together, and moving forward as one company now as Ribbon.
Okay, excellent. Now, one of the areas I know you focus on is security, and you've been talking about that for years. And now, of course, that topic is coming further up the stack, and more people are talking about it. What are the main challenges out there in terms of the security of networks, and what can be done about it? Well, what are the big things that you're hearing about?
Right, so first is the attacks are becoming much more sophisticated. What we dealt with 5 years ago is barely even table stakes now in a network to provide. We've just seen a massive escalation in the sophistication of the attacks and networks. So to your point, we've been talking about security as a long time, both as Gen Band, Sonos, and as Ribbon. And we are in that business. Our session border controllers really are the firewall for unified communications. But what's changed now is really to combat this sophistication, you really need to take a global network-wide view of security and not just rely on each point in the network to do its job.
Right,
and that's why we've kind of really focused on analytics to try to stitch together all of these nodes and network elements to kind of homogenize security, take a global end-to-end view so that you can really find that needle in the haystack, do global network-wide policy, and keep up with these attack vectors.
Right, right. So you mentioned analytics there, and actionable analytics is something I know that Ribbon is very focused on, and you've been making some corporate moves in that area to strengthen and expand the portfolio. Can you tell us a bit more about that and why this is important for your customers?
Perfect, great question. So about 2 weeks ago, we announced our intent to acquire Innova Data. We expect that deal to close probably in about 2 to 3 weeks. We're very excited about it. And what it does is it brings us, well, let's just back up and talk about where we came from and why it fits.
Right.
We have our organic analytic security platform called Ribbon Protect, and it's primarily focused on the Ribbon historic strike zone, which is unified communications, voice over IP, predominantly over fixed networks or over the top networks. That's where we typically sell with some mobile. And we primarily focus that platform on enhanced security and enhanced end-to-end network operations and enhanced visibility and troubleshooting. Where Innova does is it helps us double down on security, network operations, but it brings us squarely into the mobile domain.
Okay.
They're very focused on mobile and mobile data in three primary areas. Customer care, security, and then data monetization and marketing. Right? Okay, so it's very kind of expands our analytic strike zone into the mobile and IP data domain,
right, and
then also into the data monetization and marketing domain.
Okay, that sounds like a very useful Lego piece to be clipping on top of what you already had. And of course, you know, even here, although Mobile World Congress, really 5G is the term, the overarching term here. Definitely seeing a lot and people talking a lot more about how the public and private cloud platforms can be used by communication service providers to expand their businesses and their opportunities. How do you see that evolving and why is that important and what role does Ribbon play in helping that to happen?
Interesting. So, obviously the service providers are transforming their internal infrastructure with NFV and moving down that path, but we are absolutely seeing them start to embrace and think about how they can leverage public cloud. There's really two primary motivators I see in our space right now. First, there's a class of service providers that just want to get out of the infrastructure business and focus on their app and their value prop. Right. And they're now moving to public cloud infrastructure and divesting and running their own data centers. And we see that a lot, especially in the contact center space. Move that app out and just get away of all the overhead of running the infrastructure. The second main case we see is when has to do with business expansion. So we do see a fair amount of service providers when they want to move into a new geo region or turn up a smaller site in a smaller remote site. Instead of bringing in and building out an entire data center, they do it in public cloud infrastructure first.
Right.
And then as those business models prove in, they start to build behind it.
Right.
So how do we serve them? We've taken the same applications that we've optimized for NFV and private cloud infrastructure like OpenStack and VMware and those types of technologies. And we've now also moved them fully into Amazon and GCP. So we have, our offers now are fully available and deployed in production in Amazon with several service providers.
Okay.
As we speak here.
Right, okay, interesting. So you were talking there about the expanded business opportunities for mobile operators. What do you see as the big opportunities in 2019 for the mobile operator community?
Yeah, so in our space, which is primarily communications, I think the mobile service providers are in a really ideal place to start to take over more of the business critical apps. And you think about how you and I do our work, it's becoming increasingly, it is a mobile environment, right? Our companies it's moved from allowing you to bring your own device to relying on you using your own device because you're more productive when you can use your own device. And so I think they now have a really good stake in delivering UCaaS or CPaaS all the way down into and through the business. You think about small businesses, some of them are entirely mobile. They don't even have fixed infrastructure.
Right.
And then the larger businesses have fixed and mobile, and you need to move seamlessly between that. Can you serve that with an over-the-top offer? Absolutely. But where the mobile service provider is ideally positioned is they own that last hop to the customer. They can assure the service and they can secure the service. And I think that's where they have a nice point of differentiation in that area against the over-the-tops.
Okay. Well, I think that's a very strong message to end on for the mobile operators, and I'm sure they're all looking to do that because everybody's looking for that extra step forward in the value chain, as it were. Kevin, great to speak to you again. Have a good year.
You too, Ray. Thanks.